How's it going, everybody?
You know who it is.
My name is Son Wu, and Elektron fans rejoice because there are news about firmware updates that are currently in the making and will probably drop soon, as well as hints to what is on the roadmap for Digitakt II in future. But let's start with SYNTAKT. SYNTAKT seems to be getting the Euclidean sequencer that is already found on the analog rhythm as well as the Digitakt. You can see this on the thumbnail of Cuckoo's latest video. And apparently SYNTAKT is also getting new machines in the form of bass drum acoustic, snare drum acoustic, side chip and hi-hat lab, which were already available on the analog rhythm. But new machines are always cool, so it's nice to see them on the SYNTAKT as well. And then we get to Digitakt II. Now here we don't have any clear information as to what's in the upgrades, but there have been a few hints dropped throughout this Sonic Lab video, which I think are really interesting and we're going to take a look at.
Yeah, and since we don't call it LFO, we just call it modulation, we can put other stuff there than just LFOs.
So you heard it yourself, Christian is talking about different methods of modulation coming to Digitakt II, which I think is very interesting. The first thing that comes to mind, of course, would be something like an envelope follower, but maybe also audio modulation from one track to another could be very interesting. But it gets even more interesting as he continues on and talks about new effects being a possibility as well.
We also did one page that we call FX. Instead of having two separate sub-pages for delay and reverb, now we just call it FX, which means that we can develop other effects in the future for
and change algorithms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So now that is also a bit more open.
And finally, he talks about the possibility of them implementing new trig modes here.
Also, we added a trig modes here that you can use to, for example, right now when we launched it, we have a couple of variations here, but we have retrigs. So you can take the track you're on.
Oh, nice.
That is something that also might be added some more functionality in the future, but as we launched it, this is how it looks like.
And I think this part is really the most interesting to me, as within the trig modes lies the greatest potential of Digitakt II, in my opinion. Imagine they implemented a scene trig mode that behaves like scenes on the octa track or on the analog rhythm. So on any of the 16 trig keys, you can lock in parameters, and when you press that trig key, these parameters will be played instead of your default parameters of the current pattern. I think that would be super amazing. And this would be for track-wide parameters. So you could lock in parameters of any track onto a specific scene. But I think they could also implement a scene mode that works on a per-track basis, where you can lock in parameters of that given track, but it also triggers the track at the same time. And this would allow for creating your own slice mode for a track. You have a long sample, and all you lock in to the different trig keys is different starts and different endpoints. And voila, you got the slice mode that everyone has been asking for. So give us two scene modes, one per track, and one global scene mode that doesn't trigger anything but the parameter locks, and we are happy campers. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what would you like to see in terms of trig modes, in terms of new effects or new modulation options for the Digitakt II. I'm happy to hear what your ideas are. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and peace.